Hey guys, it's Adam with Unleashed Wargaming. I wanted to bring you a tutorial today. I've been playing around building a Tomb King army, and when I opened all the boxes up, the extra little bits and spare pieces in there, they put a whole bunch of scarabs in there, some flying, some on the ground, and they put them in there, to put on the base to give you something to work with or put on the model somewhere. But I had so many of them, I just decided I'd make some bases, some tomb swarms because the swarms are pretty good. Poison attacks, unbreakable, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, this is what it looks like when it's finished. And if you're interested, continue to watch and I'll show you how I made it. Here is what I used to make the hills on the bases. Every one of my bases have hills. They're not just little flat things. I wanted them to be a little more dynamic. So this is called paper clay. It's very easy to use. It does take a little time to dry. You can speed it up with a hair dryer, but yeah, you can pick it up at just about any hobby store, Michael's or Hobby Lobby or whatever, and very easy to use. And once it dries, even if it dries up some, I mean, I guess if it's completely dry, maybe you can't, but if it dries up over a day or two, you can put water on it and let it get moist, and it will soften up, and you can change it. So pretty nice in that matter. Here's a look at the three bases I started with. As you can see, I just blobbed it on. I smeared it down to where it went into pretty much as flat as you can get it onto the base, so there won't be any ridge lines or anything. And you can see on the one on the left, I made like just a big mound. The one on the middle, I put just two small hills, and the one on the right, a long hill and then a little small one. So just change them up so they're not all the same. The next step is I primed them black and let it dry because, here I'll show you in a second anyway. Then I took some leather brown, Vallejo leather brown, and I painted it. You could really use any dirt color, just you want it a little darker than what you want the dirt to be. So if you're going for a parched earth or something dry and light, you don't want to start with that. You want to start with something darker. So that's what I have here. I've painted them all brown. And then Games Workshop released this Agrelian Earth. It is not the best thing to use for cracked earth. There are other things out there. I think Dead Earth is one company or one brand of it. But this stuff will work if you put it on very thick. If you put it on thin, just like a paint, it will crack so small and tiny. I mean, it'll look like just little hairlines. And it's really not the effect most people want on their bases. So put it on good and thick. Yeah, here you can see I blobbed it on. I put it on real thick all around. Again, this stuff takes a long time to dry. Hours, in fact. But take it in your bathroom, plug in your hair dryer, and just don't get real close and real hot. Stay about maybe 2 feet away and on a low setting, and this stuff will dry and crack in 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. And yeah, just be careful not to keep the heat on it too long. There's a look at the nearly finished. That's before I've done any dry brushing or anything like that. That's just to show the cracks that I got by putting on thick. Then I put a brown wash on it, Agrax Earthshade, actually. I put that on there to kind of give it a little more color variance. And then I dry brushed different areas. As you can see, the lighter spots on some of the hills and the higher areas to catch some of those edges and really make it look like the sun may be hitting it, or maybe it's more parched in some areas than others. So this is a tall dead grass that I bought at, again, Hobby Lobby is where I bought this. I don't know if you have one, but I think they sell this pretty common in hobby stores. Any train, like model train store, anything should sell this. It's too long to use, but it's good because you can clip it off and make whatever length you want. So yeah, I cut some of it off and used some PVA glue. What you do here basically is a little tricky. You put the blob of glue down. It's going to dry clear where you can't really see it. And then you take the grass, you cut it off the length that you want it. Usually I put a model down beside it and decide how tall I want it to be against the model. But in this case, I actually had some clear acrylics that I wanted to use. I'll show you why. You can actually see it there in the middle of the grass. But I stuck it down in there. You can spread it out some, but don't spread it out as far as you see it here because it's going to fall on its own. Not all the way down, but it'll start to lower. It'll slowly spread out some. So don't try and get it to the exact place you want it. Set it a little bit higher than that because over the hours it'll lower a little bit more on its own. There's a look at the tiny clear plastics. Now you'll have to get these in different places. I know somebody who is a miniaturist, and she bought some shutters for a house she was building, and these glass pieces were between each one of the shutters. I mean, they're not glass, they're plastic. But you can find these. You can actually make them. You know, I've seen people take the tongs off of a fork and heat them and stretch them, and you can get these in several different ways. You might even be able to buy them. I've never looked because I have these, but that's what I stuck. Here you can see it sticking out of the top of the grass. I stuck it right in the middle, sticking out where the glue is. And that's why I did it. I painted up one of the beetles, painted his underwings purple and his outer wings black, as you can see up there. And I stuck him on top of the acrylic. So, you know, the grass has most of it. And I have a beetle flying over the grass and another one crawling on the ground behind him. That's just another look at it from a lower angle. Yeah, again, just another look from an overhead view. It's just showing that you can't see that acrylic so much. It worked out pretty good. And yeah, basically I just repeated the step. There's another shot of it completed. As you can see, I've got another one flying a little bit lower over another sprig of grass. I've got 3 beetles in total crawling. That's a shot from the back. You can see the other 2 beetles crawling and the 2 flying. I even put one of them turned sideways like he's banking over the grass. And so yeah, there you have it. That's it's pretty easy. I did one of these in a day. And not a full day, a few hours. So yeah, it's a cool way to get your swarms going without having to go pay all that money to buy them. And if you buy the big guys like the War Sphinx or the Necro Sphinx, you actually get enough of these beetles to make one. So I think with the 3 I bought, including a unit of Tomb Guard or skeletons, I had enough to make 3. So yeah, that's 150 points of free models from Games Workshop. So I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, thanks for watching, and comment, let me know what you think about it. Subscribe if you haven't done so, and if you want to set up a project with us, then by all means, contact me at unleashedwargaming@gmail.com, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.